These are what I call my Adine Abinth glasses because they remind me so much of the ones Siobhan wears. And I know she probably wears them for more than just Adine, but that's when I first saw them, and that is what I call them. So yes, today I am here to discuss the finale, finally, of A Court of Fae and Flowers. It has been a hot minute, but honestly, I think I was putting off filming this finale discussion because I didn't know quite how to feel about the finale. There were things that I really liked about the finale, and there were things that I was disappointed in the finale. So I don't know. I kept going back and forth about how I felt about it, and I mean, I've had a lot of time to sit with it, obviously. Now it's been like a month and a half since it aired, so I'm ready to talk about it. I'm acting like it like changed me irrevocably. Like, no, it was just fine. I think for the most part of a finale, like I said, episode 9 and episode 10 were technically like a two-part finale, so that's why they were both shorter than a normal episode length would be. And I think the first thing that disappointed me was just the length of the episode. Like, I get that, like, for them, they obviously filmed 9 and 10 together, so that's like a 3-ish hour session, right, if you put the episodes together. But for us, like, having to wait a week for like an hour and a half episode, and then the episode before that was only like an hour and 20 minutes, like, it just kind of felt like a bit of a letdown. Like, I would have liked it more if like episode 9 was like an hour and 30 minutes, but then episode 10 is like 2 hours and you get like a full like 3.5 hour, 4 hour thing, which again, I know like time crunch and stuff like that, like they might not have been able to actually produce that, but I just feel like we've done two-part finales before in the Dimension 20 world that have felt more satisfying than this. And I do think a big thing that was a detriment to the finale was something I had seen as a weakness of the series as a whole throughout the entire time, which I just think, because it's so focused heavily on things that are happening and it's not really like all the players together like having a round or whatever, right? And the time can be a little wonky. Like, I just felt like that was definitely most on display in the finale, the weakness of that, where it was like things would be happening and then we'd have to completely stop that scene even as it was building and building to go switch to other characters, or like scenes would happen and then we'd be like, wait, before that actually happened, let's cut to this scene, which is what would have happened before. And it just felt hard to keep track of, especially, like I said, I think it's so hard when it's like you're into these scenes, and these scenes you've been waiting for a while. Specifically what I'm thinking of is like a Hob and Rue confession or confrontation, at least, about their feelings. And I feel like those scenes could have gone on for a lot longer, yet they were cut off to switch to something else, which I get why they had to switch to something else, right? Because they've got to wrap it all up, and honestly, like, you can't have just two players talking to each other for an hour, as amazing as that would be. Like, you've got to be respectful of the other players at the table too. But I just think it kind of cut through some of the momentum of stuff building up, and that was just unfortunate. And I do think a lot of this felt rushed. Like, I know we had known for a while like who the big bad was going to be. We were kind of getting hints about Apollo and some nefarious plans. Like, nothing was super surprising, but I just think the way Apollo was dealt with, though fun, was just so quick. Like, I was almost like, oh, it's an hour in and we defeated the villain already. Like, what are we gonna do for the rest of the story? Like, it just kind of felt, the timing, the pacing felt off, right? Which was unfortunate because it was something that I was really excited about. Like, this is definitely one of my favorite seasons in general, but I just feel like, in terms of like finale specifically, probably one of the weaker ones, unfortunately. And a lot of stuff that I was hoping for did happen. Like, we've got our love confessions, we got amazingness with the way that they took down Apollo. Like, never in a million years would I have guessed that is the way we would have taken down Apollo. Is actually, you know, I probably should have guessed that. That's on me. I should have guessed that Squawk seducing Apollo would be how they finally got him once and for all. But it just felt, yeah, a little disjointed. So that's kind of my disappointment about it, but I really did enjoy getting to say goodbye to the characters for now. I mean, I would love if we get another season with them or something like that. I think would be so fun. And like I said, there were a lot of parts that I did love. I think, once again, this group of players is so charismatic and the chemistry between them all is so incredible, and like they all just came to give it their A, and I am so happy with how it turned out character-wise. I think they all ended up getting their happy ending, which was really nice. And the happy ending isn't necessarily what I thought it would be from the first moment I met them. So it's just nice to see that they all ended up, you know, no one died, which was very good. It was a little touch and go there for a while with Hobb especially, but no one died. The love confessions were very, very sweet between Hobb and Rue. I mean, Hobb, like, full on defecting from the Goblin Court. Is defecting the correct word, or is that only like a war thing? Well, I guess he is a soldier, so I guess it could be defecting. But defecting from the Goblin Court and like renouncing it and everything like that, I thought was just so amazing and such a good journey for Hobbs' character. Like, I know Rue was kind of the catalyst of like why he rejected the Goblin Court, but also like the Goblin Court treated him horribly. So it was very nice to see him be like, you know, I don't care about them anymore. Like, any loyalty or oath that I swore to them before is gone from this moment, and like pledged his loyalty to Rue instead. And I thought that was really, really sweet. And we also got to see Rue and Lovey kind of have a moment of understanding where their relationship will never quite be what it once was, but they're both realizing that that's okay because maybe the relationship they had before wasn't the healthiest for both of them. So Lovey's going to take some space, but she will be back and she will still be a friend to Rue, just in a different capacity, which I think is nice. And then we also had, for couple-wise, we also had Anhera and Lady Binks, who I probably really like their ending the most, just because talk about unexpected couples. Like, their couple dim potentiality only really showed up about halfway through the season, so I was like full on into it when it happened. You didn't think about it, but then when they did get together as a couple, you're like, oh, they make so much sense. Like, he's always hiding in the shadows, and they're always talking about how, like, you know, their emotions are very not represented in the court, and like they just don't fit in their court. Binks is the last of her court, and her court is the court of lost things, the court of things that hide in the shadows and things like that people forget about and don't appreciate as much as they should. And it just, like, talk about poetry where it's like, this is where it's like you cannot write this stuff because like they were made for each other. And I think even seeing how their journey ended together, how they decided to go and check out the mortal realm together, I think shows just how perfect they are for each other. I'm really concerned, and this is where I do think they could do a second season, that they kept Anhera's sister alive, because I definitely don't think she's going to take this lightly by any means, and she's definitely someone who we've seen be power hungry, so I could definitely see her coming back and trying to usurp Anhera, or at least throw some kind of revolt or something like that. Like, that's kind of the one loose end that I'm like, oh, if we did bring this back, this is definitely what it would be for. And then we also got to go back with her wife and her daughter in the human world. We didn't ever learn too much about her wife, but like, I like that Chirp saving the portal, the vision that she saw was then her daughter getting to enjoy the best of both worlds, because that was the whole thing about making sure that these portals stayed open, was that magic to survive needs both. Like, you need the human realm, but the fairies also need the human realm to, you know, have something to represent their magic to, because it's like the thing with the fairy world is so great and fantastical and wonderful, but at the same time, everyone lives there. So it's like, you know, they're not really impressed by anything much. There's nothing that you can do to spread your name or something like that outside of these rumors and stuff like that. So the human world is really where they go to thrive. And I think that kind of incorporates into Binks's whole thing, where she said, like, her court didn't die. They just turned into other things because they couldn't get back. And, you know, it's a dual relationship. Like, they feed off each other. So I was really excited to see that that was gonna stay open. And then Squawk ending up with, right? Jeremy Renner was probably just the perfect ending. The perfect ending that from the moment that Lou came up with the one-off about the Green Hunter, like, all the pages it has taken from here, I cannot imagine how much. And like, credit to Abria for like just rolling with it, because like, she only found out about Jeremy Renner like 2 episodes ago, so to have him be a vital character in the play and like in the story, I think was just so amazing and so funny and like so perfect for Squawk, of this guy who's so, well, this bird, who's so suave and charismatic and just like plays with people's feelings and doesn't really care. To see him get all befuddled and like, you know, nervous around Jeremy Renner, I think was so funny and so cute and just like very, very cute. So I'm happy that they all got their happy endings, like I said, and I think the way they incorporated the idea of saving the portal by burning their trinkets or their tokens, I think was really good. I had seen someone guess that before, so it wasn't like a super big surprise for me when they started burning them. But yeah, I was nervous because especially before then, because it was the last episode, like so many of them were starting to burn their tokens to succeed on rolls because they were like, oh, it's the last episode. Like, I'm not going to need to use this afterwards. And I was like, no, save it. You're probably going to need it. It was great to see just how they all participated in it, right? Of like Squawk seducing Apollo, but then Hob being the one that could actually fight him, and then Chirp also using, was it all her birds she used, right? To like attack and just like keep the portal together and take down Aunt Hera's sister and all that. Like they just all came together beautifully, and I really appreciate that, especially because they were so separated, the majority of them, for so long, that to see them team up and take down the villains together and have this united goal and this commonality that they all had different wants from it, but essentially it all boiled down to the same idea of like they all want that human realm connection to still be there. I mean, we've got to get Vanessa home somehow, but I just think it was really nice to see, like, you know, you and me can want different things from something and be completely different people, right? Like, so different. Hob and Chirp and Squawk could not be more different. And then you've got Hera and Rue, who from all appearances, all personalities cannot be more different, but they've got this thing in common that they're trying to do, and that can make them unstoppable. So I really, really loved it. And yeah, I think it was just a really fun finale, even if it was a little rushed and disappointing to me, but I'm excited to see what this holds for the future. And yeah, if you have seen the episode, please feel free to leave your thoughts and your theories on what you think might happen from here, what you think might happen in season 2, your favorite parts, your favorite love confessions, all that wonderful stuff. Thank you guys all so much for watching all my discussion videos, and I will see you next time for another Dimension 20 season. Bye!